Morning and welcome to another edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast. As we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. This is very key. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. It's Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. We are now one day out from the NFL draft. Yes, I am ready for this Thursday night there in Pittsburgh. And joining me right now to go over his latest mock draft is my great friend, Brian Bosarge, Draft Countdown. Follow him on Twitter also at Deep Fried Draft. Brian, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good, Mark. It is, I'm still trying to finalize this last mock draft I've got to put up. It's a mess.
You are absolutely right. I was at a bookstore over the weekend, and I saw like some of the magazines, right? The published old school magazines. You could tell they were published 3 months ago because there's been so many trades since then. The whole thing is dated, the whole thing. And we'll get to your Bengals later. Let's get right into the top 10. I like to play the game who could get the most right in the top 10 of the first round. So let's go over the draft gurus. Yes, official draft countdown top 10. At number 1, we know what you're going to say. But who's going number 1 to the Raiders?
Yeah, this is the only pick I'm 100% sure about, and that's Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback from Indiana. He's going to the Raiders. By default, he's quarterback 1 in this class, and they need a quarterback. They bring in Kirk Cousins to bridge it, I guess. I still think Mendoza ends up starting week 1, but yeah, I mean, this is the easiest one. This is the only layup.
Do you like the pick, though?
We did this exercise on our show last night. Where would Fernando Mendoza rank over the last, including this year, over the last 3 drafts? So going back to Caleb and those guys. And we slotted him in probably 4th, slightly above Cam Ward. But better than where we had. Now, not saying discounting what Bo Nix, we're just talking as prospects. We had him ahead of Bo Nix, Michael Penix, and J.J. McCarthy, slightly above Cam Ward, but below Caleb, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May.
What's so funny about him is, and you talked about the depth chart there in Vegas, when we were in the playoff and he was winning games, I go, he reminds me of Cousins. He reminds me of a quarterback. And then it's so weird that they added Cousins to the mix, but I'm with you. If you take this guy number 1, he's going to be the open day starter. For my question for you then is the follow-up. The last 2 drafts, you had a transfer guy go to Miami, Cam Ward. I mean, like, he wasn't going to be the number 1 overall pick. Goes to Miami, big year. He becomes the number 1 pick. The guy goes from California to Indiana, becomes the number 1 pick. If you are a quarterback in college, does the transfer portal, is this an example that, yes, you should go in the transfer portal?
Take it back to Caleb Williams, transferred from wherever, I can't remember where he's, Oklahoma to Southern Cal. So now, I mean, this seems like the trend now. I off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember the last one that went number 1 at quarterback that didn't transfer. Because
all right, I'll try. Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars.
That's got to be it, right? 2021. So, yeah, because Burrow in 20 transferred from Ohio State to LSU. So, yeah, I mean, it seems to be the way. So, based off this information right now, the number 1 pick in the 2027 draft will either be Brendan Sorsby or Sam Leavitt, who transferred to LSU from Arizona State. So, those are your 2 number 1 picks now, based on the transfer portal quarterback rules we put in place.
Is Mendoza, because he's 6'5", is he bigger? I mean, how big is he? Isn't he that tall? Oh, no. We got to look this up. Did I put you on the spot? He's bigger than you think.
Mendoza is 6'5", 225.
Yeah. So he is bigger than he doesn't look. You know what? It's kind of like Tom Brady as well, where you don't think Brady's that. No, Brady is big, like a big quarterback.
And is he the one that made this pick?
Yeah. Look, I can't stress this enough. I think I told you this when you were covering the Senior Bowl. It's Mendoza. They're playing the ABBA song. They love it. Yeah. That fan base. honestly, they need an identity. They've been a doormat. And I'm sorry, and I know people could disagree with me. Having the Raiders relevant, where they're at least respectable, is better for the NFL. It is. They're a character. So I'm excited. Look, I'm not guaranteeing he's going to be good, but I'm with you. He's the number one pick. Okay. Two, 3, and 4 are three franchises where I feel like some of these players should be like, nah, I don't want to go there. It's the Jets, Cardinals, and Titans, 3 in a row where they've just been dysfunctional. Jets at 2. It should be Dante Moore, but he's going back to Oregon to make more money. Who do you have at number 2 to the Jets?
This is a pick that has gone back and forth over the last 2 weeks. For the longest time, it's been Arvell Reese, the linebacker / edge from Ohio State. Off-ball linebacker at Ohio State, but everybody believes will be a better edge. Micah Parsons-ish type transition. But the last few weeks, it's kind of waffled back and forth between him and David Bailey, the edge from Texas Tech, who's a pure edge rusher, not really much of a factor in the run game, but a great pass rusher. The prevailing thought right now is you're Aaron Glenn, you're David Moe, I think is his name, the GM for the Jets. You've got to show some sort of progression in year 2, right? If you're Aaron Glenn. So do I want to take the chance on a guy we hope can become Micah Parsons, or a guy that can go in and get 8 to 10 sacks as a rookie? And I lean right now, I think when my final mock comes out tomorrow, it's going to be David Bailey, the edge from Texas Tech.
Because he's produced. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's produced at Stanford and then produced more this year at Texas Tech.
Is this like a Trayvon Walker situation where, the Jaguars had the number 1 pick and it's like, okay, what do we do here? Because you can't. Here's my question for you. I don't think the Jets could trade down. I don't know if anyone wants to trade up for the 2nd pick.
I don't think they'll trade down from 2. Now, we're not going to get that far into the weeds, but I think at 16, I think they do look to move down because they're in a prime. Somebody needs to get ahead of Detroit offensive tackle spot. So I think 16 is where they would move down from, not 2. They're going to stick and pick at 2. I think it's going to be Bailey, could be Reese, but I'm 75-25 right now. It's David Bailey.
Okay. All right. So let's say you get Bailey. Then at number 3 to the Cardinals, is it just the Ohio State player then?
This is the trade spot. I think Arizona wants it. Arizona's biggest need right now is an offensive tackle. The value's not there at 3. I think they like Francis Mauigoa, the right tackle from Miami, like I said, but the value's not there at 3. Word on the street is there's a lot of love in the front office, or not necessarily the front office, but above the front office, if you will, where they want Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame. So this might be one of those, does the front office rein in ownership here, or does ownership win out? I think if they stick and pick, it might be Love. I think more likely they end up trading back with either the Giants, the Saints, the Chiefs, or even the Cowboys. I think we see movement here at pick 3. But if they stick and pick, it might be Jeremiah Love.
Okay, here's my thoughts then. And I love your insight. We're here with Brian Bosarge. All right, you're number 3, you're the Cardinals. You want offensive linemen. The problem is I could kind of see the Titans or the Giants taking your offensive linemen at 4 or 5 because I feel like they both need to protect their quarterbacks. I am not sold on Jeremiah Love. I am not taking a running back. We've known each other for years. I'm not taking a running back that high. If I'm the Cardinals, I'm taking my offensive lineman there at number 3. I might just do that.
And that may end up being the case. And I think if they do, I think it'll be Mauigoa from Miami because they just extended Paris Johnson, their left tackle. So I think the right tackle spot would be where they would go with Mauigoa. So yeah,
who's their quarterback for Arizona? I'm confused here.
That is a good question, and I think they end up getting one right now. I think they end up trading back. The betting odds right now say Ty Simpson is going to Arizona. It won't be at 3.
No,
I think it's one of those where, especially if they trade back and get some extra picks in this draft, they use some of that graph there to come back up into the first round to get Arizona. But is Jacoby Brissett technically still on their team?
He's on everyone's team somehow.
He's technically still listed on their team, but he's holding out, which is wild to me. And Gardner Minshew is currently listed as their backup quarterback.
All right. If I'm Arizona, here's how I have to look at it. I have nothing on this. I know you got the Ohio State wide receiver who really has underperformed over the last 2 seasons. I'm sorry, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. He has. I have nothing. So best player on the board might be the best opportunity. I mean, maybe you just do that. Maybe
the prevailing thought with them though is what might be scaring them away from say Arvell Reese is technically a conversion, right? You're trying to convert him to edge. They've tried this in the past with Zaven Collins the first round a few years ago, Isaiah Simmons first round a few years ago. These conversion type athletic linebackers, it hasn't worked out. That's got to be in the back of their mind.
Yes.
That we don't want to try this again this high in the draft. I think if a team trades up, it's for Reese. So
okay, so that's what you're going with at number 3. Yeah. I like that point because when I cover the NBA draft, I say the same thing. Just go take a basketball player. Someone who knows, no, let's take a 6'10" guy. You know, he's still got to learn to play. Just take a basketball player. Take a football player. Okay, the Titans at 4. What are your thoughts then?
This is another spot where a lot of people like to mock Jeremiah Love here. They've already got Tony Pollard on the roster. They've got Tajay Spears, who's been banged up but has been solid. New head coach in Robert Saleh. Comes from the 49ers. Fred Warner, linebacker. If Love goes at 3, he's sitting there staring at 2 Ohio State linebackers that he's going to think are going to be perfect fits on his defense. And so whether it be if Reese goes at 3, either to Arizona or a trade up, then I think he sticks and picks Sonny Styles, the linebacker from Ohio State, at 4.
And you know what? If you're at number 4 and you could get one of those guys, they fall. I go thumbs up. I go, let's go. I think that's the good pick. All right, number 5, and I think it's interesting. Ruben Bain is still on the board out of Miami, who I love.
I do too.
I thought he was a wrecking ball that helped Miami get to the national title game. Okay, number 5, the Giants. Another team where, we got 2 picks in the top 10. What do you like at number 5 then?
So this is another new coaching staff, John Harbaugh, going to try to replicate what he had in Baltimore. So this is another, is Reese on the board? Is Sonny Styles still there? Do they go with Caleb Downs, who I think is the best player in this draft class, the safety from Ohio State, on the board? Do they go with another Ohio State player in wide receiver Carnell Tate? Right now, Malik Neighbors' health is questionable. They don't have another guy other than Malik Neighbors right now that can produce at the wide receiver position. I've heard a lot of late smoke coming in that they like Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State, who, if not for the injury history, would be the best wide receiver in this draft class. But unfortunately, he's missed every 3rd game he's played in college. So that's not great.
No.
But I don't know that he's available for them at 10. So that the thought process is they draft him at 5 and then come back with a defensive player at 10. So that's kind of where we're at here, wide receiver or somebody from Ohio State.
All right, so who are you taking then at number 5?
I would take Caleb Downs at 5
all right,
myself. But if Sonny Styles is available, it's Styles. If not, it's Downs.
All right, you're taking Downs. And look, again, you got the pick from the Bengals at number 10. So you got some moves you can make here. All right, number 6. And when I saw this the other day at their mini camp, where it's Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders both throwing the ball, I'm like, I don't know what this franchise is exactly. But number 6, if you're the Browns, what do you do here with this pick?
So the Browns also have 24. So they've got 6 and 24. And this is a thought. I think they could move down. They're going to look to move down from 6 and try to pick up some extra picks along the way. But if they stay, I think there are 2 options at 6 and 24 in order. Either they go offensive tackle 6, wide receiver 24, or wide receiver 6, offensive tackle 24. I think it goes either way. They're picking those 2 spots with those 2 picks. Right now, I'm leaning towards Carnell Tate, the wide receiver from Ohio State. I know they like Mekhi Lemon, the wide receiver from Southern Cal. But it's sticking in my head right now that they like young, athletic linemen. And I think when my final mock draft comes out, going to have them going Spencer Fano, the offensive tackle from Utah, shorter arms, like 32, and he's less than 33-inch arms, which isn't ideal for an offensive tackle. We kind of saw that pop up with Will Campbell a little bit, the Patriots first round pick last year, who went 4th overall. But I think Cleveland ends up there. He's like a 99% athlete as an offensive tackle. Was a right tackle for Utah, but we believe can easily transition to the left side. So yeah, I think they end up my final mock. I'm going to have them going Spencer Fano, Utah at 6.
Why not Reuben Bain and have the most devastating defensive line in the NFL? Why not that?
Reuben Bain's going to fall more than he should.
Yes, he is.
And I don't like it. He's who I wanted the Bengals to take at 10. We're going to get there, but it's he's going to fall a little bit. He shouldn't, but he's going to.
And you know what's funny about this? The older I get, and it goes back to my point about who the Jets, Cardinals, and Titans. You know what? Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I can go to a real franchise then and not the same dumpster fire. Maybe I could go to a team making 10 right away and really highlight my skills. All right. So you said 6 for the Browns. You're saying that route. And I just want to say this. Did we break an NFL record? Are there 6 teams in the first round with 2 picks? Dude, I saw that the other day. There are because of what happened with the Giants. I think there's 6 of them that have this. That is violent.
I want to say I saw in a follow-up to that, the record was 8. But that was after that was in 2022. There was multiple trades on draft night that ended up getting us there. So we could still get there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, the Commanders, a very interesting team where they were in the NFC title game 2 years ago. Then their quarterback gets injured. They fell off. What do you do? Because I know it's one of the oldest rosters in the NFL.
Yeah.
What do you do if you're Washington?
So this is a multiple floor spot. I'll say this. So if Jeremiah Love has fallen this far, he's the pick. If Sonny Styles has fallen this far, he's the pick. I think this is would be a good spot for Caleb Downs if he's not gone. If all 3 of those guys are gone already, this could be a wide receiver. Carnell Tate, I think, would fit here to pair with Terry McCord, give him a couple of Buckeye wide receivers there, or Jordan Tyson, another spot for him. This would also be, I think, the absolute earliest we see Reuben Bain come off the board because they need another edge guy as well.
Okay, so this is a move. We are contending this fall. We need someone to help us contend. That's
correct.
This is what it needs to be. All right, so you kind of feel you're going with wide receiver here, though. That's what you're feeling.
I think it's what it's going to end up at when all shakes out, because I think some of those other guys are already going to be gone. But like I said, I love the idea of Jeremiah Love in this offense, though.
I do too. Look, Jane Daniels is a fantastic quarterback. He just could not stay healthy. All right, number 8, the Saints, who I'm going to say this. I know the Buccaneer fans are going to hate me. I think they're going to be better as well in the South. I think they were right there for the division last year. What do you think of this pick?
I'm convinced this is the team that's going up because Mickey Loomis has extra picks this year. He's got like 8 or 9 picks. They're burning a hole in his pocket. Dude can't stay still in the draft. He likes to trade up. I think they're one of the main contenders to go up to 3 to get Reese or Styles or someone of that ilk. If they stay and pick, I think with the board the way it is, I think they're a spot for Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon or one of the wide receivers. But most likely, I think corner. This is where the first corner comes off the board. If everything goes, no trades, I think they end up with Mansour Delane, the cornerback from LSU, is who they end up falling back with.
That is the Saints. Okay, this is the interesting pick. The Chiefs at number 9. All right. Which direction do you go if you're Kansas City?
This is the complete wild card here because this is a Super Bowl contender picking in the top 10, right? Mahomes gets hurt. They go in the tank, end up with the 9th pick of the draft. Where can they go? Wide receiver, obviously an issue here because your wide receivers keep getting arrested or domestic violence and doing stuff that they shouldn't do. So this is a Jordan Tyson spot for me. I think they can afford to take a gamble on the injury guy, right? Because of the status. This is also a spot, could be a corner because they traded like their best corner to the Rams. That's how they also have pick 29.
Yeah.
So they're one of the double teams in the first round. So that's a spot. This could be a spot if Delane is on the board, they go with the corner. Scares me. What scares me here is they take Reuben Bain, just because.
Yeah,
the Chiefs and Bengals. This is a thing that I feel like they're going to meet again at some point, and that would scare me with Bain going on the scene. I think there's a spot there, but complete wild card. This is the throw it out there into the existence. Kansas City, Travis Kelce. This is probably it, right?
Yeah.
He's going on tour after this season, selling bracelets in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, just freak athlete, good blocker, run after the catch, would just be an absolute animal in an Andy Reid offense. Just throwing it out there. That could be a possibility at 9.
I think that'd be a great pick. It feels like whoever they take, nationally, everyone's going to say it's a great pick. Whoever it is. Like, it's like a luxury pick. That's what, and it's funny. When I look at, okay, how do you help your new quarterback? Get him this best offensive line on the board to protect his ass. And then second, it's not running back, wide receiver. Get him the blanket tight end, the Gronk, Travis Kelce. I know you're going to think I'm a homer. Colson Loveland for my Caleb Williams was fantastic in hindsight. Fantastic when you look at that pick. It was. Okay, number 10 then, the last one we'll do. Back to the Giants. And before we get to the pick, what did you think of your Bengals trading that pick?
For multiple reasons, Mark. I'm absolutely ecstatic with this trade. Ecstatic. So, for the simple fact, they never do this. This is just absolutely. I've never. The first NFL draft I watched as a 11-year-old was the 1990 NFL draft. I haven't missed a televised pick since. Been obsessed with the draft ever since. I have never seen a NFL draft where the Bengals didn't have a first-round pick. Their last one was 1989. They traded out of the. They had the 27th pick because they lost in the Super Bowl the previous year, and they traded out of the first round. That's the last time the Bengals did not make a pick in the first round, 1989. So I'm just like, you get the best, and it's bar none, not even close. Dexter Lawrence is the best nose tackle in the NFL. Like, there's no one even close. This is a position that we have mocked to the Bengals almost the entire offseason, all of the entire season. Bengals, Peter Woods, Clemson defensive tackle was mocked here. And then he's not had the best pre-draft process up to this point. Keep that in mind for your Bears, though. But then reports came out yesterday that if all the players the Bengals targeted were gone by 10, they were going to take Peter Woods at 10. If that is indeed the case, I like this trade even more for Dexter Lawrence, because there's no way Peter Woods is going to give you that kind of impact. Dexter Lawrence changes their defense from the inside out, makes your poor linebackers better than they were a year ago, makes your edge guys better than they were a year ago, because he's going to draw a double team on every play. So I love the trade. I don't think you were going to get the kind of impact from the 10th pick that you're going to get for Dexter Lawrence over the next 3 years. And you're in win now mode.
Yes.
The Super Bowl window is still open by about that much, but it's still open. And you've got to attack this year. You've got the offense. I mean, how many games did they lose last year where they scored 35 or more points? Like 3 or 4?
I saw one in person, as you know.
Exactly. So, I mean, you've lost those. If you win those 4 games that you should win when you score that many points, they're in the playoffs. They've won the division.
Can I just say something to you? Your quarterback is fantastic. He needs to stay healthy. And I'm sorry I have to say this. Stop trying to be a Hollywood playboy and get your act together. It's time to go win football games. I'm sorry. My guy Caleb Williams was at Coachella hanging out with celebrities, and I'm like, no. Stick to helping the Bears. That's your job now. Okay, just do that. There needs to be. I'm sorry I have to go there, even though I'd probably do the exact same thing as a quarterback in the NFL. I would. All right, then. The last one is, who do the Giants take at number 10 then?
If they didn't take wide receiver at 5, I feel like they take a wide receiver at 10. It also depends if Caleb Downs is somehow they took someone else at 5 and Downs is still there at 10. I think he's the pick there. But yeah, so I think they're going to, I don't think they'll double up on defense, although the thought process of them getting Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs is fantastic.
Yeah.
If they can pull that off at 5 and 10, that's a coup for John Harbaugh as a first-year coach.
I love it for the Giants. I know, look, you got your player, but the Giants got a pick.
No, this was a win-win for both teams.
Yeah, I love
Lawrence didn't want to be there, and you got the 10th pick. The Bengals get better defensively, which is what they needed with the 10th pick anyway. So, yeah, this was one of those rare win-win trades between two teams.
All right. That's our top 10. I appreciate coming on. I know you're busy, man. You're getting ready for draft coverage. You got a link. I will link everything, how you can follow Brian on this this podcast. Will you come back Friday to recap? Could we do that?
I can do that, Mark.
Okay. I love it. Have a great day. Enjoy the draft, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Mark.